inside Diddy's freak off parties.
Diddy Combs was once known as a rapper, music mogul, and serial entrepreneur. These days, however, he's known as an alleged sicko who allegedly used and abused people in the most disgraceful way and is now paying for his sins. P. Diddy in the last 12 months has been in the focal point for everything but his musical and business ventures. As he sits incarcerated in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, awaiting trial after he got indicted for sex trafficking charges. The truth about his freak-off parties have finally gotten exposed. Sean Diddy Combs has been a mogul in the music industry for over 30 years. He's played a part in the careers of some of the most successful names in hip-hop. While music has been what the majority of the public recognize him for, things have been a little different behind the scenes, as most of his peers
Also, if you're in the chat, make sure you type !confess in the chat if you have any crazy confessions, because after this reaction, we're going through the crazy confessions.
Who puts together some of the best parties in the music industry. Some of those parties were highly documented celebrity events like the all-white parties, while others were not so documented and illegal for that matter. In the late 90s, Sean Diddy Combs started hosting these all-white parties. The all-white party was an industry party hosted by Diddy himself. There were 3 different criteria for anyone who wanted to attend. Number 1, come with a good attitude.
Before may or may not got a house arrest, but hey man, yo bro, work for the things that you want, bro. Please, bro. I don't need any of my supporters having to rob niggas,
have
bro.
fun
Please,
and let loose.
bro.
Number 2, have ties to the circle of celebrities attending. And number 3, show up in white
Unless I
clothing.
tell niggas to
The parties
slide,
were a
bro.
white
Do
dress
not
code
slide,
and
bro.
decor themed event
Nothing
attended
wrong with
by
a
all
9
the
to
illest
5.
celebrities in the industry you
Except
could
for
possibly
me,
think of.
I'm jobless.
The events
I
initially
hate
started
jobs.
getting
I will
hosted
never
in the
work a day in my
Hamptons
life.
before moving to other locations that Diddy picked. These parties
Except
were
if
supposed
it's
to
for
be
myself.
a fun day / night of
point.
festivities, which it eventually was
Alright,
for
let's
all the
focus on this video,
high-profile
bro.
celebrities who attended. And the intention behind the white dress code was a way to strip away everyone's image and put them all in the same color and on the same level as stated by Diddy himself.
All right, so listen, really quick intermission from the reaction video. If you guys are here and got recommended this video, that's because the algorithm thinks that you are going to like who I am as a person and a creator. What I'm trying to do right now is I want to build my community. I want to make my community bigger. I want to have more Discord segments, more manhunts, more fucking, you know, item hunts, giveaways, like you name it. I want to do a lot of stuff for the community. I want to get to know as many of you guys as possible, especially since I'm a small creator for now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm so delusional in my mind. I'm like, I'm already at 10,000 live concurrent viewers, but at the same time, it's like you have to go step by step. You feel what I'm saying? So I want to build a community. So if you're here and you want to be a part of my story, you want to be a part of my story for as long as I'm on the internet, you want to be the type of person that gets to say, I was here before this guy had 500 subs, 1,000 subs, 10,000 subs, 20,000 subs. If you want to be that person, make sure you follow me on Instagram, which is going to be the most important social media to follow me on, because I post when I go live. I post new YouTube videos. Think of Instagram like the hub, basically. No, not that hub. Freaky ass nigga. But the hub where everything connects. So follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitch, and let's get back to the fucking video.
Diddy described these parties as breaking down racial barriers and generation barriers.
That's an interesting concept.
As the attendees came from all walks of life, different ethnic backgrounds and racial backgrounds, but they were all still connected through the circle of elites they were rolling in. The first party took place over the Labor Day weekend on September 7, 1998 in East Hampton, New York. Diddy reportedly invited 200 people to a barbecue at his new Hampton home.
200 people for a first party is fucking crazy.
Hip-hop and R&B artists taking up most of the space, along with some of the biggest actors on top of that. A young Leonardo DiCaprio, who had just finished recording Titanic at the time, was one of the guests. Everyone who was a somebody in the entertainment business was invited to the all-white party. These events helped the music mogul raise his profile in the industry, something he took great pride in.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep.
This nigga was fucking foreshadowing. P. Diddy made so many hits, it actually hurts. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I hear niggas talk about P. Diddy's music and shit like that, but never have I ever unironically heard anyone say some fucking shit like, yo, turn on that P. Diddy, bro. I've never heard anybody say that. Maybe he's big in the music industry, he's respected, whatever, but like in terms of sound, in terms of like music that has longevity, I've never heard anyone say, yo, turn it, yo.
Lost a life.
Oh, I'm a savage. Whatever I want, I'm going to get. Whatever I want, I have to get.
The parties boosted Diddy's public image and equipped
Biggie,
him with enough connections to run these parties between 1998 and 2009,
yeah, but it's like,
when the last one took place.
I understand that, bro. Yeah, songs with Biggie and shit like that. But the point I'm trying to make, bro, is like, who's gonna be like, yo, bro, put on that P. Diddy? No one, my nigga. No one is saying that, bro.
The very much publicized all-white parties are, however, not to be confused with the so-called freak-offs.
Watch this nigga put 100K on my head for
activities
saying
were
that.
not so known by the public. It was the party after the party. Drugs and baby oil are at the top of the headlines in relation to these dark, SEX substance-infused get-togethers hosted by Diddy. These sexual encounters are described as coercive and abusive by the prosecution seeking legal action against Sean Combs, and are the heart of the trafficking case he's been indicted for. The 14-page indictment heavily focuses on how the defendant, Sean Diddy Combs, abused, threatened, and coerced women and other people around him to fulfill his sexual desires. Diddy's freak-offs were allegedly fueled by a criminal enterprise who forced others into sex trafficking, along with forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. With the help of his deep network of employees, resources, and influence he had built up throughout these last few decades as a music mogul and serial entrepreneur, Diddy put together what he called freak-offs, which were essentially sex marathons.
So this nigga was a real-life organized, not even an organized criminal. This nigga Diddy was an organized freakist. You heard what this nigga said? This nigga just said this nigga had teams of people that would help him with the sex and the freak-offs. And yo, this nigga was an organized freakist.
Not consensual. He allegedly lured his female victims by creating an orbit of women under the false pretense of a romantic relationship. Threats of violence and physical force were present on top of coercion, all in the name of fulfilling his dark desires. The freak-offs were essentially an explicit show which sometimes lasted for multiple days, directed and hosted by Diddy himself, and it involved multiple people at a time, both men and women. As Diddy was pleasuring himself, unbeknownst to the alleged victims involved, he was also videotaping these moments and saving them as leverage against him. Another critical aspect of this is how Diddy, as a way to sedate and control his victims, allegedly used copious amounts of drugs to keep them in check, obedient, and compliant. After these freak-offs, the victims received IV fluids in order for them to recover from the physical extortion and drug use forced upon them. The freak-offs were facilitated by Diddy's enterprise, which consisted of a team that included high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other business employees of his. Their duties included booking hotel rooms for these freak-offs, stocking the rooms in advance with supplies for the sessions. Among the supplies were drugs, baby oil, lubricants, extra sets of linens, and lighting for the rooms where the freak-offs were about to take place. The people working for Diddy were also told to clean the hotel rooms after these freak-offs to try to mitigate any room damage. Arrangements for the victims' travels were also handled by his people, and so was the resupplying of any necessary items like the IV fluids, narcotics, and baby oil for the freak-offs.
Sean Diddy Combs and his production company Bad Boy Films. Dozens of agents searched the property for hours, leaving with boxes of evidence.
Law enforcement seized a lot of these supplies in March 2024 during a search of Diddy's various residences in Los Angeles and Miami. Diddy had his people handle basically everything.
And you know what's so crazy about all this, bro? I heard that the reason why Diddy's going through what he is going through right now is apparently someone was working on a book that was going to expose his fucking freak-offs and all the crazy shit he be doing behind the scenes. And they came to the person, the person came to Diddy, the team came to Diddy's team and was like, you can buy the rights for this book for $30 million and you can cancel the book so it doesn't see the light of day. And he didn't. He basically said, fuck off. He felt like because he had so much money, he was so powerful that no woman could try to blackmail him to do nothing. So they published this shit. This shit went to court. Some crazy shit happened. And there had to be a settlement that needed to take place. And you know, the settlement was $30 million. So he ended up paying $30 million anyway. And now on top of that, now he has something on his record that fucking investigators and other people can look into, because you know these court documents, these trials and these shits is public. So when they saw that a high profile person has some shit like this that is so high class against him that just got settled for 30 million, they're like, okay, boom, we got us a case. Now fucking whatever it is, searched him, fucking yo, this if this nigga's, yo, what's that one Kendrick song Love's gonna get you killed, but pride is gonna be the death of you and me. Niggas' pride be the death of their whole careers, bro. Their pride be the death of everything they've ever wanted to do in their lifetime. Thankfully, his pride got him in trouble because we need niggas like Diddy off the fucking streets. Real shit. But pride, it's like, you know, you fought like your this, that, and the third. Yo, pride is so crazy. Pride, ego that is unchecked. This shit is.
Any payments that were made to the SEX workers involved were all done in cash, which was delivered in large sums all over the United States. Indictment against Sean Combs states that he maintained control over his victims through not only physical violence, but promises of career opportunities, on top of threatening to withhold any financial support that they were receiving by means of coercion. Those means included tracking their whereabouts, dictating how the victims dressed and appeared, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and propping them up with substances to establish control and preserve dominance over them. During and separate from these freak-off sessions, Diddy, among other things, hit, kicked, threw objects, and dragged his victims by their hair. These assaults resulted in serious injuries that took days and sometimes weeks to heal. On top of this, any resistance to participate in the freak-offs led to the victims' careers and livelihoods getting threatened, which Diddy had full control over. The victims fully believed that they couldn't refuse any demands made by Diddy without risking their financial or job security, or without repercussions that came in the form of physical and emotional abuse. Diddy, on top of all this, used the freak-off recordings he had of the victims to keep them in his control and silence them. Members and associates of his alleged criminal enterprise, including his security personnel, at times carried firearms. On more than one occasion, Diddy himself flashed
the pussy
guns
got to you so you won't stream today.
His victims, including
aspirations
of
bro.
Any abuse. In March 2024,
niggas
during the
trying to
search
link
of his
up with the
residences,
guys
law
in
enforcement
LA, bro,
recovered
have
and
dinners,
seized
network.
multiple firearms along with ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with altered serial numbers on top of drum mags. These are the firearms that are believed to have been used in the intimidation of the victims. The criminal network of people who enabled and aided him did so mainly through keeping tabs on the victims by making sure they followed directions and protocol regarding financial payments, and by advancing or suppressing career opportunities based on their compliance level. The cover-up was made possible by everyone who worked under Diddy, and that was done through concealing the violence and abuse he had caused upon them. Diddy's alleged victims had all their movements tracked by his criminal enterprise in order to intimidate them and prevent them from leaving the freak-off locations.
Lift your head up, little nigga.
Where victims
I just got a crazy text message. Had to deal with some shit real quick. But we back, bro. But I'm not about to let this shit bother me, because
to remain in hiding for days at a time.
At the end of the day, letting shit stress you out. Getting stressed about certain shit is not gonna help you, bro. Getting stressed isn't gonna help. Solving your problems is going to help. So I try not to let you stress me out.
That they recovered from the injuries Diddy had inflicted upon him, so the physical violence could continue on in the dark.
Appreciate you for looking out. Would you take back shots for Diddy to bring back anyone you want? I'm not gonna lie, bro. If niggas is dead, they dead for a reason. Dead ass.
And located by his employees. Any of his employees who witnessed his abuse and questioned Diddy's authority or reputation were also assaulted to ensure their silence. These acts included physical violence, kidnapping, and arson. In late 2023, following the public allegations of Diddy's crimes in regards to the statements that were made by his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, as his reputation was threatened by negative publicity, the alleged victims and witnesses in his case were pressured to stay silent through means of bribery by Diddy's enterprise. They were told not to report what they knew or experienced to law enforcement, and to provide false narratives of the events that took place if it came down to it. Diddy recorded these incriminating phone calls, and they were eventually retrieved by law enforcement in this case. The freak-offs are essentially described as a horror show that was elaborate and produced SEX performances where anyone involved ran the risk of getting propped up with drugs on top of coerced using physical violence. These freak-offs left the alleged victims so exhausted they had to be given fluids just to recover. Diddy then used all the videos as leverage against anyone who participated and kept them silent and traumatized for years. The end for Diddy is near, though, as he is incarcerated and as the government launched an extensive investigation into the life of Diddy.
Nigga, if I start talking about Beyonce, they deadass might ban me live on Twitch, bro. I was doing some digging about that woman they call Beyonce, bro. She's not who you think she is, bro. That's all I'm
Attention to uncover the dark realities he put his victims
through. She's already rich.
Anyway, if you made it this far, drop a like since you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you're new here. Appreciate you for watching, and I'm curious to hear what you have to say about these freak-offs that Diddy was hosting. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. I'm out.
WFID.